Welcome to Overthinking It, where we overthink simple topics.
Today, we are going to talk about sandwiches. Potato. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog? No. Well, it depends. It really depends. Okay. Are you using two pieces of bread, or are you using the one interlinked piece of bread?
Let's say you're using the one interlinked piece of bread. Then is it a sandwich?
It's not a sandwich.
What if I told you it is and isn't?
What do you mean?
Well, sandwiches, there's the big category of sandwich, and then the smaller category, with also called sandwich, but is actually a duo-wich, which counts as the quad-wich, which counts as the amount of sides a sandwich were to have, but not the bread covered, because something that is a sandwich could have multiple categories of a subcategory of sandwich, but there's the main type of sandwich that is commonly called a sandwich, even though there's multiple types of sandwich with a different subcategory of sandwich.
I definitely know what you just said. You did your research, but I think you said there's a separate subcategory, meaning that it's not really a sandwich. It's just a separate type of thing that they call something that has the ending of which.
See, there's duo-wiches, which is two separate pieces of bread making up a sandwich, and there are quad-wich, which is any sandwich that has four sides, which are both subcategories of sandwich.
People eat sandwiches with four sides?
Yes, like if you were to cut off a crust off like a PB&J.
I guess. But, okay. But is there a one-wich or something?
That'd be an open-faced sandwich.
I hate when people say open-faced sandwich. I don't care that you call it that. It's just multiple materials on a piece of bread. That's just like spreading butter on toast. You call that a open-faced butter sandwich?
You could. But the thing is, there's a difference between an open-faced sandwich and a braised sandwich, which is where you put a bunch of stuff on a piece of bread. Because a sandwich is anything served with bread as the thing you use to transfer the food to your mouth with on something else. I'm forgetting the word for it.
Okay, so I guess that would be an open-faced sandwich, quote-unquote.
It could be braised, because if you're using the bread, if you're putting sandwich ingredients on a piece of bread, then that is an open-faced sandwich. But if you're putting like butter or something, you're braising the butter on the bread. But then you get into the whole other discussion of, if you put something on bread, is bread the main meal, no longer the bread of the sandwich?
Yeah, because I feel like the main meal would just be like I don't know, because that's so difficult. Because you're just putting something on a piece of toast. Like, if I wouldn't like ask like, oh, like, can I have a butter open-faced sandwich? Like, no one would get that. What do you mean? I guess
you would say bread with butter.
I guess, but that's like the technical term would be like open-faced sandwich. Is what you were saying?
Because would it be an open-faced sandwich, or butter being braised by bread? Which braised is when you put a food on another food?
I think it would just be braised, because it's like, if I put freaking ketchup on a hot dog or something, I mean, I guess that's a condiment, I guess that's different. But if I put ketchup on a hot dog, then a hot dog isn't like an open-faced sandwich.
See, that comes under another category of sandwich, which is when the bread is covering the sandwich on three sides. So it's a sandwich, but not a duo-wich or a quad-wich, but it does fall under the category of sandwich.
A triple-wich.
That's when you would cut it into wedges. That's a triple-wich.
Yeah.
Or a tri-wich.
Yeah.
But for open-faced sandwiches, what if you were to put eggs on it and had like egg with the bread with the hole in the middle? You're braising the egg, but both the bread and the egg are the main meal.
Yeah, so you're just having two things as a main meal.
Yes, but would that be a braised, something that's being braised by the bread, something that's an open-faced sandwich, or something different, or neither?
I think it would be like a salad, where like it's not like one thing. I mean, I guess lettuce would be the main thing, but it's not like, other than lettuce, it's not like one thing is being braised on another or something. They're all kind of just there, and you're eating them together. So it's not really like anything. It's just a salad.
Now, what if you... Then let's go back to something, let's say peanut butter and Nutella, for example. The bread is the main food, but it wouldn't be what it is without the peanut butter and Nutella. That would still be a sandwich.
I'm assuming you mean like one piece of bread or two?
Two pieces of bread with peanut butter and Nutella in it. The peanut butter and Nutella are adding the flavor, but the bread is the main sustenance.
Yeah.
But that'd still be a sandwich.
Yeah.
So why isn't the first thing an open-faced one?
Because this is more one-sided, where the bread is just supporting what's inside, where with a bread and an egg, they're both supporting each other. So it's like they're both the main dish. Well, this is like the main thing you're eating is Nutella and peanut butter. You're just having an excuse of having two pieces of bread with it. So it's actually a food.
Yeah. Now, to get off topic a little bit, what about falafel? Does the ingredient falafel make a falafel, or is falafel the type of bread that is the shape of the bread you use to make the falafel?
I would say yes, because that's the main thing you're eating. So that would make that a falafel sandwich.
So you're saying a falafel sandwich has to include the ingredient falafel?
Yes, because it's called a falafel sandwich, meaning that that's the main thing you're eating.
But what about something, let's say something has the same bread shape as a falafel sandwich but doesn't contain any falafel. Would that be its own type of sandwich, or would it be not a sandwich at all?
If a falafel sandwich is already a sandwich, and then you just put something else inside, then it's still a sandwich, just not a falafel sandwich.
So what would the category of sandwich be? Would it just be a falafel bread sandwich because it's the bread but not the falafel itself?
Yeah, it would be a falafel bread sandwich because the falafel bread is what's used. But you could just call it a sandwich because it's technically just bread.
But that's the big category. We're talking about the specific shapes of sandwiches, like duo-wiches and tri-wiches.
Yeah, so I think like something like a restaurant would say a falafel bread sandwich or something, so that it's clarifying, but you could just call it a sandwich if you really wanted to.
Yes. But, now, burritos. Are those sandwiches?
Depends. Are you using one tortilla or two?
One tortilla. One tortilla folded around to make one full burrito.
One tortilla, that means...
And flour tortilla, if that matters.
I guess that would be quote-unquote an open-faced sandwich.
No, not cut in half. You have whole thing not cut yet, is that sandwich. Because it's closed on all sides by bread.
Not really, because it's one piece of bread, right?
Yes.
Not two, so it would just make one.
But it is an open-faced sandwich one piece of bread, or is it a piece of bread with food going outwards?
I would say open-faced sandwich. In the name, you should have food going out of it.
Yes, but it's closed on all sides, so wouldn't it not be an open-faced sandwich?
No, it would be a burrito. That's why it's a different category.
Would the category be burrito, or would it be wrap? Because they're folded differently. Is it about how it's folded, or the type of bread and how it is used?
It doesn't matter about the type of bread. It just matters how it's made and prepared. So I guess it would just be a wrap. It would be classified as a wrap, but it would be a burrito.
Yes, it would still be a burrito, like how a PB&J is still a duo-wich.
Yeah.
But how about something? But how about you cut it in half, and then it's served to you cut in half?
If it's served to you cut in half...
Does that change its form? Is sandwich determined about how it's served or its ingredients?
I think it's determined by how it's served, because the ingredients, by the definition, is very vague. It's like meat, condiments, something, or sandwich ingredients, or something like that. So it's very vague, and it can really be anything. So I think ultimately that would still just be an open-faced sandwich.
And for one last question, what do you think the definition of sandwich, the big definition of sandwich, would be, in your opinion?
Ingredients between two pieces of bread.
Then, would something that is braised on bread not be identified as a sandwich? So there is a difference between like butter braised on bread and an open-faced sandwich?
Yeah, because I think just putting butter on it or some kind of condiment like that, it's not really an ingredient. You're just eating it with the bread. You like the taste of the bread, you just want to enhance it.
So, if you're having bread with a condiment on it, like butter, then the bread is the meal, it is not a sandwich nor a braise.
No, because it would be like putting ketchup on a hot dog. You're not having a ketchup hot dog, or you're not like having a ketchup sandwich. You're having a hot dog.
Yes, which does go under the category of sandwich. So, are you going back on your earlier statement and saying that if something is braised on a sandwich, there is a difference between an open-faced sandwich and just something being braised on a sandwich that's a condiment or a minor ingredient?
I think I said that before, that it's not like quote-unquote braised on it. Like, if it's a main meal, then it's still like they're both the main meal. But if it's a minor condiment, then you're eating it because you want to enhance the taste of the bread.
So, a sandwich is something that is covered by bread, basically.
Sure.
Alright.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Overthinking It Sandwiches.
Remember, always correct your friends.